Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast show, Expresso, live here on S3. Now let's talk about entrepreneurship and growing the South African economy. We know this, taking the leap into entrepreneurship is probably one of the biggest and possibly most rewarding ventures that you'll ever take. But you need a lot to really take that off. You need more than just a good idea and a great team. That's great, yes, but you need cash and you need it now. And this morning, I'm joined by Michael Duploy, the CEO of Cashflow Capital, who are in the business of keeping you in business. Michael, it's so good to see you. Good morning.
Great to be back. Thank you so much.
You know what, Michael, I get really excited when I meet people like you who are in the business of helping businesses get into business or stay in business. But let's talk about Cashflow Capital and who you guys speak to specifically.
Yeah, so Cashflow Capital is a working capital provider, which basically means, as you say, people need cash, typically to buy stock or, there's either an opportunity or some sort of problem that they need to sort out quickly. So we provide essentially an array of products that help with that niche. And then also we form part of a bigger group that there's several companies that offer different types of financing. So we really cultivate you from sort of a beginning position to more serious financing needs.
I think, we all can agree that business stems from the mind, right? Ideas are all mind work, but I think that the heartbeat of any business wanting to grow and wanting to level up and go into the next phase is finance. And the financial market then really does play a huge role in what that looks like. What is it looking like at the moment, and how specifically does this speak to or affect SME business owners?
It's tough out there.
It's tough out there. I was waiting for you to confirm that.
No, you got the situation in Russia and Ukraine. You got rising oil prices. You got supply chain issues in China. You got inflation in the US. You got inflation in the UK.
Oy.
You got rising interest rates. And if you think about that, rising interest rates, South Africa will have to follow suit over the next 2-3 years.
Yeah.
So debt will be more expensive.
Yes.
So you'll see a little bit of a bit of a pressure on the average business, inflationary pressures. Yeah, it's tough.
It's a tough time, right? And I think for SME business owners, even tougher because they're having to really squeeze through all of these little holes and find better ways of making better decisions for their businesses. What are SME business owners supposed to be doing now? Where should they be making the right types of decisions, and what sort of decisions should they be making now?
I think if you're talking about debt, which we obviously provide, you got to be just very careful. Debt can be your best friend, but your worst enemy as well. And what I'm seeing in the market is a lot of providers are saying, they're trying to make it as easy as possible, which is understandable, but saying you don't need to send us any documents, we'll give you debt. You have to ask yourself,
why? How?
If you meet someone at a bar and they don't want to tell you your name, but they say, you can come back to my place, that you have to worry. So.
Yeah.
Our thing is really about checking if you can really afford the debt. And, we'll really advise you on, is this the right time? Is this the right amount? I think that's super important. Use it for the right reason. Otherwise, it can be a big problem.
And what sort of right reasons, maybe if we had to list certain sort of top line examples of the types of decisions or areas or instances where SME business owners might need to find themselves tapping into your services, for example?
I think so, income statement expansion would be a good idea. So if you could somehow expand your gross margin, and what I say about that is, let's say a competitor is going under, they need to sell their stock at a discount. If you can grab that stock and sell it at a higher margin, that's a great way to use debt.
Yes.
A really bad way to use debt is to say, I'm not changing anything, my expenses are changing the same, I need some money to buy a new Porsche. That's not a great
terrible
way.
decision. Or I just feel like, it's a new season, it's winter, we'd like to paint the walls of our office outside a bit orange this time around.
Yeah, I think that's a great, in the Western Cape, winters are typically quite tough.
Yeah.
But preparing then for summer, that's a good idea.
If that was the instance, that was the case. I know that a lot of SME business owners often do find themselves, for example, in a position where they have a potential business deal or contract that's coming through that they may need to meet. In order to do that, they need the cash. That's the sort of capital that you guys would be able to provide, I imagine.
Yeah, that's typically something called trade finance. So either you have someone who's sort of placed an order for a good that you're bringing in or manufacture, or it's something that you import and then sell on to your customers. But yeah, typically anything to do with moving stock is I think that's always good, as long as your margins stay in a range where it's acceptable, profitable.
Michael, leave us with those key areas where a cash flow capital is able to provide assistance to SME business owners.
I think my tune has changed a bit. I think the biggest thing now is just, we really will talk to you and advise you. We're not just going to say yes. I mean, even though we're a business, we're not just going to
say no.
Yeah, we're not just going to throw out money.
Yeah.
But I think that's super important. Like, partner up with someone that'll take you through the journey safely. And I think that's kind of what we really do well in this market. So speak to us and let us rather guide you than just throw money at you carelessly.
Yeah, I love, Michael, that you say partner up, because you really do approach SME business owners as partners. You go into a partnership with them. You are interested in their businesses doing well because you are in the business of taking business to the next level. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
100%. Love it as always.
Michael du Plooy, CEO of Cashflow Capital. Now, to apply for funding for your own business, you can go and visit cashflowcapital.co.za. Maybe give them a call. They want to partner with you. 087-720-1287. And there'll be someone out there who is prepared and on standby to give you the assistance that your business may be requiring.
We are business owners working with business owners. Cashflow Capital, business funding that works for you.